Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that is now fairly old. It was a very limited edition and it was a Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con 2007 exclusive figure offered by Art Asylum. And it was all based on Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And it was the 25th anniversary series of action figures. Okay, so this is the card in front of us, and the action figure. And this particular one is of Commander Sulu, as he appeared in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And this is the card it comes on. And at the top of the card, you can see you've got images of the main characters from that movie. So you've got Khan, Admiral Kirk, Mr. Spock, and Dr. McCoy. You can see Sulu just behind the Delta shield shape bubble. And it says Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, 25th anniversary. And at the bottom it says Commander Sulu with Starfleet Gear. And it's got San Diego Comic Con International exclusive. Excuse me. And it says original Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan action figures. Okay, now before we have a good look at the figure itself, what I'd like to do is just turn the card around and let's see what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I've turned the card around. I've dimmed the lights a little bit because I was getting a big reflection on the back of the card, which was blocking it out a lot of the imagery. So I've removed the lights and turned the lighting off, and this is what we've actually got on the back. So it says, Khan! The unexpected discovery of a very bitter Khan Noonien Singh means disaster for Admiral James T. Kirk and the crew of the USS Enterprise. More ruthless and cunning than ever, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan features the greatest adversary Admiral Kirk has ever faced in a final showdown, with the fate of the Enterprise and maybe the universe hanging in the balance. Celebrate the 25th anniversary of the ultimate Star Trek movie with the complete line of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan collectibles from Diamond Select Toys. Okay, so it's a Series 1. So you had Admiral Kirk, Khan, Captain Terrell, and Double Cross Kirk. And then just below that, you can see the San Diego Comic Con exclusive figures, which was Dr. McCoy, Pavel Chekhov, Commander Sulu, and Scotty. And at the very bottom, then you've got Series 2 figures, which was Captain Spock, Lieutenant Uhura, Lieutenant Savick, and Regalia 1 Kirk. And also from the Wrath of Khan, you've got the USS Enterprise and the Star Trek Mini-Mates. And it says Star Trek, and you've got the Paramount Pictures logo, CBS logo, Diamond Select Toys logo, and the Art Asylum and the comic book logos. It says StarTrek.com. There's the TWOK Sulu SDCC. And you've got the barcode at the bottom, Diamond Select Distributors in London, and you've got all the licensing and copyright information at the very bottom. And it says not suitable for children under 3 years old. Okay, that is the back of the card. So let's turn the card back round to the front and have a good look at the figure itself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the facial features of Commander Sulu. And I've got to say, they've done a fantastic job once again in the facial features of these figures. Now that's a very, very good likeness of George Takei as he appeared in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Obviously, George Takei played Sulu, Lieutenant Sulu from the word go in the early episodes of the original series of Star Trek and right through all the movies. Right up until the final one of the original series, which was The Undiscovered Country. But that is a really good likeness of George Takei as Sulu. As he appeared at that time, bearing in mind that this was the 25th anniversary in 2007, so it's in 1982. So really that is 42 years ago when George Takei looked this young I know he's well in his 80s now, so yeah, that's 40. So he was in his 40s at the point when Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan hit the screens. But there we are. I mean, it's a very, very good sculpting, and the uniform, oh, it's just fantastic. I mean, these uniforms, I think, were some of the best uniforms that Star Trek ever produced. They were just so good and worked so well. So you've got the badge, even though it wasn't a communicator like in the Next Gen. You've got the clip at the top that holds the breastplate closed. The belt with the Star Trek logo. I'm getting a little bit of reflection here again, so I'm just going to off the lights there for a sec. And there you can see the waist there and the black trousers. I'm going to put the lights back on again now. That's a bit better. And then you go right down to seeing his boots at the bottom there. Now also, look at the detailing of the phaser and the communicator. Now the communicator was slightly different to the ones that we got to know and love. They modified it slightly for the Wrath of Khan, and but it was better than having that wrist communicator that they had in the first movie. So they did go back to that handheld one in the Wrath of Khan. And there's the phaser. The phaser is pretty much the same one as they did use in the motion picture. But again, such good detailing just even on those little accessories. And then, of course, you got the replacement hands, so you can change the hands and the grip so that they can hold the phaser and the communicators at your will. And there's this hand that is actually on the figure at the moment. But yeah, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to turn that light off again because of the reflection. Absolutely phenomenal figure. I'm just going to push him backwards a second, see if that gives us a little bit better on the light wise. Not really. If I bring him forward a little bit, maybe that's a little bit better. Bringing him forward. Yeah. Okay. Now, as you know, this figure is sealed in the packet, and I can't actually remove it because obviously then it would be a used figure, and we try and sell everything as brand new. But I do have my faithful Scotty figure, who was also an exclusive action figure, and he is exactly the same size from the Mirror Universe series, and the articulation is also exactly the same on these figures. So I want to show you the articulation. So we've got the movement of the head. Now the head's on a ball joint, so the head can go all the way around if you want to make him look a little bit weird. But you can adjust the head up and down, side to side. That's the whole point of the ball joint on the head. So that's how the head joint works. Now, you have the tops of the arms, which go up and down. You then have the joint just below the shoulder, which allows the arm to turn in and out. So again, you can have that articulation anywhere you want. And of course, you've got the elbow joints, which bring the lower arm up and down. You've also got the hands. So because the hands they're interchangeable hands, you can turn them because they're just on a peg, as you can see on the bottom of the Sulu hands there. So they're just literally on a peg. So you've got articulation on the hand as well, and that's the same on both arms. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation on each arm. And then, of course, you've got the top of the waist, which you can move, and you can adjust his lean, turning to the side, and so on. So that's the movement of the upper body. And then, of course, you've got the tops of the legs, which move up and down. They don't move out. But then you've got the turning of the lower section of the legs from below the calf there. And then, of course, you've got the knee joint again, which goes up and down, and of course the foot, which you can turn as well. So there's absolutely amazing articulation. So it's 4 points of articulation on each leg again. So you've got 4, 8, 12, 16 points just on the arms and legs. And so we're looking at 16, 17, 18, about 18 points of articulation on each of these figures. So absolutely phenomenal articulation from phenomenal figures. In my opinion, these Art Asylum figures were the best figures that were produced for Star Trek. They were a bit bigger. They were 7-inch ones. They were so well detailed. I mean, just look at that uniform on Sulu. It is absolutely blinding, as is Scotty's one from the Mirror Universe. But I just love those uniforms from Star Trek 2 onwards. They were just so good. The tops, those jackets were just absolutely phenomenal. I think they were so good. And the detailing on all of this, as I said to you before, is just incredible. The hands, the replacement hands, so it enables you to hold the items in an easier way. So the hands will actually go around and grip them. They're not, these particular hands on Scotty are not that supple, but they are, there is a little bit of give in them. The ones on the Sulu figures, though, are very supple. So they're perfect for holding items and holding the phaser, opening the communicator, and so on. So there we are. That is the Star Trek II, the Rafa Khan 25th anniversary Sulu action figure, which was, again, I say, a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from Art Asylum. And I think it was for Diamond Select Toys. I'm pretty certain those were the distributors of this particular one for Art Asylum, and it was Diamonds that was giving them away at the Comic-Con. Not giving them away, but selling them at the Comic-Con. Anyway, that was 2007. We are now fast forwarding to 2024. So it's, what's that, 17 years ago when these were produced. I don't know the quantities of how many of these were produced. I can only tell you they were very limited and they were only produced for that Comic-Con. I'm not 100% sure if any of them made it past the Comic-Con. Usually if they do, if there's any left after the Comic-Con, then they usually end up somewhere like Entertainment Earth, who have them for a small quantity of them, whatever's left, and they're sold first come first served basics through their website. So, but I don't know how the quantities on these. The information is a little bit sketchy to say the best of these quantities, so who knows. But let's fast forward back to 17 years later, back to today, and do they come up very often on the platforms? Well, the answer to that is no. Not some of them do, but the San Diego Comic-Con ones, those 4 figures, very rarely come up on the platforms. And as, like I say, that is because they were exclusive figures. Quantities were so low, so they just don't come up very often. You do quite often see some from Series 1 and Series 2 on the platforms. I say fairly often. They occasionally do come up, but very rarely do the Comic-Con exclusive ones come up. So that begs the point is, are these figures difficult to find? Yes, they're very difficult to find. Are they expensive now? Yes, they're very expensive now. But as usual, we at Midas Touch have managed to find quite a few of these figures, and they are currently available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to quite simply by clicking the link below, and it'll take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Trek items and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes on the website. There will be something for everybody, and I am absolutely positive that this is something you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new products, which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long-lost childhood memories. Well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Star Trek Sulu figure with me. thank you for watching, and we will see you again next video. So bye for now.